Hi, my name is Karen McGarity, and I'm the principal of Silent Real Estate Partners. I have formed this company in order to ultimately create a concierge service for real estate investors and savvy buyers. When I thought about my personal experience and that of folk that I knew, I thought there's a real need for this. And as I have begun my education process for the elements of a real estate transaction and what's needed in order to complete them legally and ethically, I have been, it's been an education to learn all of the parts that are involved in the process. As of right now, I do everything for the business that does not require a legal certification. And as I have learned, that is the first thing that I need to change as quickly as possible. I need to bring in contractors and vendors. I need to determine who's going to be the administrative support staff. I need to clear as much time as possible in order to monitor the business efforts of generating as many leads and converting them as possible, to keeping an eye on the real estate trends. And because at this point I'm not limiting my efforts to either the residential or the commercial or note buying or note generation or even mobile homes. My view is that learning about the various investment options in the real estate arena is going to be a daunting task, and I will not be able to do everything myself. But I would like to, at least initially, learn enough to be able to better evaluate the contractors and the vendors that I hire to do the actual work. So, with that in mind, let me tell you about some of the initial goals that I have. As I said before, I'd like for this business to be a concierge service for the real estate needs of investors and some folk that don't consider themselves investors, but they have other areas in which they invest, so that they're always conscious of trying to have their money work as best as possible, even in a real estate transaction, a personal real estate transaction. So, I also would like to establish a brand that's synonymous with value and opportunity to grow your money, and also a business that is involved in some of the community activities that my markets value, such especially in the areas for family and children's organizations. Eventually, and this is I'm sure, many years, some years down the line. I would like to write a curriculum for a program for pre-adolescents to be able to learn how to purchase property. I have personal experience with seeing the value of giving children practical experience in their learning, and am convinced that that is the best way to foster growth in their critical thinking. So having these practicums in which the kids get to look for, evaluate the merits of, argue about the elements of the deal that can be put together, and then walk through the process of seeing what's involved, so that at the very least, as they grow up, they will have more of a sense of what is going to be involved for their personal purchases, or even for family members, helping them to research what's needed and evaluate the elements of their personal deals. But completely aimed at empowering more people to do this in a more cost-effective way and get as many benefits out of it as they can. And then last, not having an idea right now, but I would like to be a resource for some community nonprofits who are operating on shoestring budgets as it is. And while before I did a lot of personal volunteer work, I now see that being able to write larger checks, being able to call vendors and ask them for donations, assorted larger efforts can be handled if I'm coming from a larger base. And I will work on that. Now, how am I going to meet the goals? I've learned just enough to understand that there is a lot more to learn. I guess the first part is that I have to ramp up a very large lead generation and conversion system, and be constantly working on the relationship building. Understand that every time I'm out, it's always relationship building, resource gathering, information gathering. I never know who's a potential client or a potential colleague. And right now, that appears to be, the lead generation part of it appears to be something that I'm going to need to develop, concentrate on developing online more than offline. For the environment, for one environment that I'm working, the Boston area, there are so many municipalities that have rules about contact that, I see it being more effective for me to concentrate online. Then with the leads, I then will need to have in place contractors and vendors who are prepared to not only service these clients, but also provide a level of education that hadn't been received before, so that there is a built-in goodwill building that's happening to not only have those customers more inclined to come back with return business, but also to tell their friends. And in my mind, anyone else who will listen about the good experience that they had with Silent Real Estate Partner. I also have started and will continue to cultivate relationships with real estate agents, with negotiators with the short sales, with negotiators who specialize with REOs, and folk who originate notes. And as I take a more detailed look at some other potential concentrations in the real estate, that may be added as well. So, in the time frame that this contest is going to be operating, I feel it feels odd to name attempt to name in great detail all of what I'm trying to put into place, because I'm not sure that I will be able to bring on all of these elements. But in any event, an explanation of my short-term and a little longer range goals seems to be in order. In order to accomplish all of this, I know that I will need to bring on forum monitors to go along with the websites and the communities that will be on those websites. I will start writing blogs myself. However, how long will it be before I need a ghostwriter? Oh goodness. There's the elements and the scale of this in the time in which I attempt to talk about it to someone else seems to be approaching climbing some mountain as opposed to a hill. But this is what I'm working on putting into place. And during the time of this contest, I will attempt to bring as many of these elements together and have results, measurable results, available as I can. Thank you.